Bitcoin has officially been adopted as legal tender in a second country. It's actually the first African country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, which means that it can be used as a currency in the country without tax ramifications. And this country is called the Central African Republic, which again is the first country in Africa to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender, which is really, really important because a lot of developing nations, and we typically, when I say we, people in the United States, have no idea what's going on outside of the bubble of the United States, where, yes, we have inflation here, but honestly, it's really sad in other countries where they have 300% inflation because their country just infinitely prints their currency. So they need cryptocurrency and decentralized finance more than anyone. So I love to see some traction being gained in the continent of Africa by actually making Bitcoin and potentially other cryptocurrencies legal tender. There's also quite a few other countries that are considering adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. One of them is Panama, another one is Cuba, another one is Ukraine and Paraguay. And there has been talks also that Mexico has actually submitted a bill to make Bitcoin legal tender. And before I jump into the last, actually, we'll jump into one more bullish piece of news here, which is that Bitcoin is being moved off of exchanges to cold wallets where it cannot be sold quickly in unprecedented volumes. So you can see that what we're looking at right now is the exchange net position change of Bitcoin, which means, hey, what is the net position change of Bitcoin moving on or off of exchanges? Now, why would Bitcoin move on to exchanges? Probably so it can be sold, right? Because that's a more risky place to hold your cryptocurrency is on a centralized exchange that could potentially be hacked where your password gets leaked or someone hacks into your account and moves your Bitcoin to their own account, as opposed to holding it in like a thumb drive in cold storage offline, right? So you can see, especially in 2017, and you saw this back in 13 and 14, you saw a ton of Bitcoin moving onto exchanges that entire time, right? Look how much green there is here. Now we did see a little bit of red, but nothing significant. And then recently, over the past about 2 years, we have seen a ridiculous amount of Bitcoin moving off of exchanges into cold wallets where it cannot be sold quickly. And what does that show? That just shows conviction of investors, right? Investors wouldn't move the asset to a place where it can't be sold quickly unless they believe that the price was likely to go up long term. This is not a short term type of a on-chain metric that you would want to look at to try to gauge where a price is going tomorrow or next week or next month. But this is more of a longer term metric that you can look at and say, okay, the overall market is expecting Bitcoin to likely go up, or why else would they be moving Bitcoin off of a place where it can't be sold quickly, right? So this is something that just shows the fundamental strength of Bitcoin and the conviction that investors have in Bitcoin that it's likely going to appreciate over time. Now, on a shorter term perspective, I still do think. First of all, this little pump where we broke past these previous swing highs was unfortunately very underwhelming, and it since have had a pullback. And essentially, we're in like a massive bear flag that is in another flag, right? So we're in a big flag here, and then we've seen a big sell off since November, which then took us into this flag right here. And now we are floating on a really key level of support. That's been a pretty long term level of support, especially since, mid January of this year. And if you were to look at the 50-day and the 200-day, let's just look at the 200-day. And by the way, this is the 200-day on a 3-day chart. Okay. We are floating up on this, using this as support. And it looks like we're starting to fall off here off of the 200-day on the 3-day chart. And then if you look at the 50-day and the 200 moving average, it does look like the 50 is going to cross over the 200 moving average, which likely means that it just shows that previous history that we're having more shorter term momentum to the downside. And it's likely that we have more of a sell off, not to mention other things that we've talked about on this channel, like the stochastic and the longer term stochastic RSI, the longer term RSI, the longer term MACD. All those things have had significant crosses. I'll show you just like what the MACD looks like real quick. If you were to look at on a more of a longer term chart, if we were to move to a monthly standpoint, you will see just how big this cross is that we've had here recently. So if you look down at the bottom of your screen where you see how big this cross is on the MACD, every single time that that's happened in previous bull markets, we've had a big correction, over a 50% correction since then. You saw one back here, we saw one back here as well, and typically it happens a little bit off the previous all-time high, and then we see another big sell-off. So I really do think it's important to hedge your portfolio if you can, right? Or just hold a little bit of cash and be able to buy the dip. I don't think, overall longer term, over 10 years, I think everyone knows where the price of Bitcoin and subsequently cryptocurrencies are likely heading. But in the shorter term, I think it's going to be a big buying opportunity, which is really exciting. And it's something that you can set yourself up for success. We, at this actually date, right here on the 9th, we deposited 50K into a portfolio that we actively manage. And since then, Bitcoin is down just over 9%. And in this 50K portfolio, it is now still valuated at $53,000. I'll show you the deposits here, just so that you know I am serious. We deposited 50,000 on the 9th of February. Since then, Bitcoin's down 9%, and our portfolio is up 6%, over 6%, right? So that's over a 15% variation from what Bitcoin, and I should say outperformance from what Bitcoin is doing. And the reason is because of our hedging positions, okay? We have been hedging the portfolio. When I say we, I'm talking about myself. So I manage this 50K portfolio in front of in one of our programs called the Crypto Inner Circle, just so people can kind of look at how I would manage the portfolio, and they can decide if they want to follow along or take similar positions or go long meme coins, whatever they want to do. It's cool to see other people in action and actually watch someone track a portfolio so that you can look at like what your overall options are in investing. It's opened a lot of eyes, I know, from people that have been in the program and expressed how valuable it's been. If you were to look at our trading history, you would see we have had, so first of all, you'll see some losses right here, right? But they're small losses, $200, $400, $133. But then there's big wins, right? $1,800. This just closed yesterday. $2,200, $3,600. And the reason why is because we will put certain short positions in place. We have a close, tight stop loss, and then we move the stop loss down depending on our risk management strategy of that trade. So we will only risk a couple $100 to make thousands of dollars. And that's exactly why our portfolio is up while the market is down, and also having a healthy cash position. So there's things that you can do during bear markets that can set you up in a really great position to win. And if you want to learn more about those strategies, there's a link in the description below. But also, we have an event coming up called InvestorCon 2.0 that's right here in Miami. It's going to have 275 investors. Actually, we can't actually quite hold 300 this year, but it's in the Hard Rock. It's actually the Guitar Hotel in South Florida. It's that massive hotel right there. It's going to be pretty epic. And we are having investors from all around the world flying in. We're going to learn portfolio allocation strategies similar to what I just discussed, how to generate passive income with things like mining and running validator nodes, and also how to reduce your tax implications from making a lot of money in cryptocurrency. So if you want to learn those things, come to an amazing hotel. It's probably the top hotel in South Florida, and also be able to network with other extremely successful investors from all around the world. Make sure you click the link in the description below. These tickets will be sold out next month, no doubt. So hope to see you there. Again, click the link in the description, and I can tell you it's going to be one of the best events that you ever attend. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you here on this next video.